3, 2, 1.
There's so many like things from the library you can use.
And, yeah.
Like Netflix.
And,
in a weird way,
and this generation's so poor that they're all just like, wait, there's free stuff at the library?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's how I started using it.
Back in the day, like when I was growing up, they were already like, movies are done.
No, really?
Oh yeah, movie theaters. They're like, because by the year 2000, they're like, people at most go to 3 or 4 movies a year. You just do the math.
Jeez.
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah. And that was back then. Now it's like you said, it's got to be some kind of big,
Well, yeah, because
big
like
thing, and
even
it
then,
does not happen for me. It's like maybe twice.
We had Blockbuster Video back then, where you actually had to get up and leave and like go get a movie. Now, like if we want to watch a movie, there's literally everything on YouTube, like YouTube movies.
Yeah.
I rent all my movies from YouTube now.
Yeah.
Or like Netflix
Or
Disney
Amazon,
Plus.
or like
I'm still old school, man. I still pirate stuff. And
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was a cord cutter way
Yeah.
back then.
I-
I just didn't understand why any of this.
I do
stuff
too,
is the way it is.
and that stuff influences like the movies I watch because it's like, oh, I really want to watch this movie, and then you look it
I'm
up
gonna
and
find it.
Oh, it's not online. Oh, I don't want to watch this movie anymore.
Yeah.
all these paywalls going up. I just don't really care for
I know.
it. So I end up just
I know.
every now and then
Streaming,
I've got to slum it and go to
I
start
try-
streaming it from somewhere.
I try to every once in a while, like go to Amazon and do the whole renting, like put more money in Bezos's pocket, whatever, but do it at the
Right.
right way. But
Yeah.
most of the time, I'm just like, such and such stream. Here it is for free in its entirety. Okay, cool.
And
Let's go with that.
I have like too many subscriptions right
Yeah.
now. Like, I realize how many subscriptions I have whenever I have to cancel my credit card because it's been my credit cards get taxed like every 6 months.
Oh, yeah, so you
some
gotta get a new
fucker
one. Yeah,
takes my money, so I have to get a whole new card, and so I start getting those like, oh, your payment's been it didn't go through. I'm like, oh, I still have a subscription with VRV.
I called one time because I got declined somewhere, and I was like, okay, what's going on? I called it. The bank said, this is your balance, and then your available balance is negative $999,000.
Oh, my God.
I was like, what? I mean, it was a heart attack.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
And then, like, you call them, and they're like, well, that's just us putting a hold on the account. And I'm like, I think you could probably do it different.
You can word that differently.
Oh, my God, yeah. I'm like, could you just, like, make it not work and tell me I'm down $1 million that I don't have?
Yeah, well, that's the last time I went to the bank, they were like, would you like, the overdraw?
Mm-hmm.
The
Overdraft protection.
fees,
Yeah, overdraft protection, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I was like, you mean where you charge me $25 every single time I spend $1?
It's technically illegal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
'Cause
straight up thievery.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Usury
stealing
laws,
my
man.
money.
Oh, yeah.
like,
Because
back.
it's just technically a loan for, like, 1,000%
Yeah.
a day.
It's like
To
Louis
them. Or
C.K. has a
you call it a
great
fee.
bit where he's like, if I don't have any money, then you take more money.
That's all it costs, man.
I have
If I have
not
money, money, money.
$10.
Yeah, if
I wish I
have
had nothing.
a ton of money, I get to make interest. So you're like, just take this poor guy's money, give it to this rich guy.
I can't even. I hate eating out sometimes.
Yeah,
So anymore, I'm just like, why?
yeah,
Why did I give you $10 more?
yep.
It really tastes good though.
Yeah.
And you don't have to cook.
Yeah, I know.
That's
always
why
gets
Uber
me.
Eats is the best.
So convenient. Okay, I usually just say, "Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brad from UFP," just like I'm doing right now.
Cool.
And this is going to be the intro. And I'm sitting here flying solo with
Brian,
and then
Nicholas.
and y'all are from,
we are from the Okie Show Show podcast.
and they're just chilling here with me today on the UFP. And we're just going to sit here and talk about, y'all got a hold of me and you're wanting to talk about like what you're wanting to do
Yeah,
for the new season. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind just finding out what y'all do.
let's just shoot the shit, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just dive in. Like, what have
Down
y'all
for
been? Y'all been? How long have you been doing this? Like, the Okie Show Show is just a podcast, right?
It's just a
Or
podcast.
is it more than that?
Well, it's kind of become
It's a
lot
lifestyle.
more. It's a lifestyle. That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Okie Show Show it's a podcast that talks about kind of goes behind the scenes of the Oklahoma film and music industry, and then we also we started in 2015, and over the years we've started to kind of expand into Texas and New Mexico and
Regional places.
regional
basically.
areas. So now it's the heartland
Yeah.
of America.
That's right. The
And
5-state region.
Yeah, the
okay.
entertainment industry that happens all in that region. There's a lot of stuff that happens. And so we have conversations with different industry pros and different, people of authority within the entertainment industry. And then we take the knowledge that we've built through these interviews and these conversations and stuff, and then we put them into practice by creating sketches, which is kind of Nick's main area of expertise. He's our
Writing.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's our writers' room leader.
Yeah.
And so we write and then produce little sketches, and we try to give students and young people, opportunities to be able to actually have real world experience on
like a low key set where we try to run it professionally, but at the end of the day, we're just making silly stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just like
That's kind of the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're having fun. But the cool thing is, like, all of us in the writer's room and all the people in the production side of things, like, we all have on-set experience on actually large-scale sets and stuff. So we do get to bring that aspect of, we're having fun, but it's structured fun.
Right.
Just like they would do in the real movies and stuff.
And Brian has perfected the art of getting a good craft service spread.
Dude, I take
the,
care of our crew.
The craft service we have on these like little sketches, compared to like even like some of the bigger movies I've worked on, it's just like it's
legit.
He knows how to get people to come help out. He knows food is the way to people's heart.
That's right.
Well, I mean, any gatherings like that, it's always catering.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah. It's all about
get
the
hungry.
food, man.
People are gonna get hungry. I've done a music video once, not like shooting it myself, but like that's what that was my job. I cook the food for everybody that's here, and it takes a lot of burgers, man.
Yeah, man, it's important. Like, I call it the morale department.
Yeah.
On set, like the craft services and catering and stuff. Like, if you don't have good food and just good snacks and stuff, like your crew's gonna get pissed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, time of day goes by.
Yeah.
And people got to eat.
Yeah, and we do these sketches, and God bless the people who we work with, because a lot of times it's just, hey, can you come volunteer a few hours of your Saturday and everything and help us out? And so just having those snacks is just like a nice little benefit. Someone eventually they'll be like, why am I here? What am I? Doritos.
Yeah.
It's just
beef
that little
jerky.
beef jerky. What? It's just that little nice. We like to take care of the people who come and play with us.
Yeah.
help us
So
out.
what are you having people do when you have them come out?
Depends
Is it
on.
shoot always, or is it just depends on what it is?
Depends on what it is and who they are. Like if they have crew experience and they're just, wanting to help out and maybe, dig in a little bit more than they would be able to.
But it could be just like sound or just,
it could
hey,
be.
I'm going to move this thing.
Yeah, or our grip department. We had
yeah.
a guy come in on our last sketch who just really helped us out moving around and everything, and it really, really helped. And or just people coming in and just like, hey, can you be a quote unquote script supervisor? Just making us stay on track and everything, and just really whatever needs doing. If we need a person to walk through in the back of a scene or slip on a banana peel, so go do that. Go do that.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff.
I would. What do you do with like the podcast though? Do you just talk about the stuff that you come across? Like you said, you talk about like regional stuff. But like you just meet people in the industry and they're on the podcast.
Each episode we try to focus in on one specific topic within the entertainment industry. So like we have an episode that's about to drop that is talking about the local 484 union, the filmmakers union. And with that, whenever you're talking to any union person, it always ends up being a lot about safety and, red
work
flags of
environment.
and that kind of thing. We've had episodes where we focus on like the Me Too issue, which I feel like that's probably our most important episode.
Yeah.
That, and there's another episode, it's one of my favorites, where we talk about what it's like to actually try to have a family while you're pursuing your dreams in the entertainment industry. That's kind of hard to do because you're working 12 to 14 hours a day, up to 6 days a week on these movie shoots and stuff. You're on the road all the time. How do you manage to stay married and have kids?
You got to watch a kid.
It's a
Kid's
challenge.
got to go somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just dropped one off. So
Right?
I get it. Yeah. That's the nature of the show.
Yeah. And then along with that, we've talked about puppeteering. We just had an episode with one of the puppeteers from Sesame Street talking about how to get involved in the puppeteering world. There's a puppeteers guild. I didn't even know that until we had that conversation.
So uncultured.
But freaking cool. And then we played an improv game with puppets, which is something that we do at the end of every episode. We play improv. I come from an improv background. Nick has been forcefully brought into the improv world.
Very roughly, just yanked right into it.
And our Nick here guest co-hosts quite often, but our main co-host Kelly Lawson, she's an improv performer of like 10 years or something like that. She and I kind of came up together playing improv. So what we do at the end of every episode is we take bits from our conversation, and then we'll create improv scenes. And then I get to have the fun of adding sound design and stuff for the podcast.
That's what he nerds out about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this most recent episode, I just got to we ended up improvising like this action sequence. So I added like all these fighting punch sounds and guns and stuff. It's pretty fun.
He's a Renaissance man, but he's a sound guy through and through.
Yeah.
At his core, whenever we do our sketches, he's like, "Ooh, the time for the sound edit."
Yeah.
It's just like,
Hey, you can lose yourself into it.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
I
you know?
freaking love it,
Yeah.
man. Well, because I do on-location audio for a lot of the different features that come through, and then commercials and documentaries and stuff. But then I also do post-audio as well, which is why kind of transitioning into, producing a podcast was actually kind of easy because it was within my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And so, like, right now I'm doing the sound design for this dinosaur action movie. It's a movie that you'll never see. It's like it's for a foreign market kind of thing. It's literally the dialogue is all in Mandarin, so I've been editing dialogue in a different language that I don't understand.
just living the dream.
Sure.
Yeah,
What
and
do they
then
say?
I don't know. I think that has said something about going over there, and then like
Context clues.
Yeah, and then I get to build like all these dinosaur sounds and stuff. It's been so much fun, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys do more improv, or do you do more like stuff on like through your film industry or through the podcast?
I would say that we do more stuff that pertains to film industry than anything.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll have on a musical guest, or we're shifting a little bit towards more entertainment. Just because OKC has a great film market and community, but it's a little on the small side. So he's been doing this for years, so he's gone through a lot of the main people and everything. So now we're kind of branching out into like musicians, comedians, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So where do you all do improv at? I'm sure there's an OKC improv.
There is literally a place called OKC Improv. It's in the Plaza District off of 16th Street, wherever that is, between Penn
next
and
to Empire.
Plassen. Yeah, next to Empire
Mm-hmm.
Pizza. And OKC Improv is fantastic. Like I'm in a troupe that plays there. Just played there last night. Playing there again tonight. And they do all sorts of really cool stuff. Like they have a lot of really great outreach programs for our vets and for people with autism and people that are on the spectrum and stuff. It's just really cool. And then beyond that we just do straight comedy. Just improv comedy. Sometimes it's like who's
sketches, whatever.
Yeah. They're starting to get more into sketch. About 90% of what they do there is all just improv.
Do they do any? Is there stand up there, or
there's not any stand up there? Not yet. Most of the stand up around here, we have the Looney Bin, and then we have the Bricktown Comedy Club, which is new, and then we have a couple little hot spots where there's mics and all sorts of different places where you can work on your stand up sets and stuff, but. OKC Improv doesn't really do stand-up just yet. We've been trying to,
we'll get there.
Yeah,
they'll get there.
Just push them that way.
Mm-hmm. Just give them a nudge in that direction.
So how long have you both been doing this type of stuff? Like, have you been always in the film industry? You said you're kind of newer to this.
Yeah, I'm a little newer to this. Whenever he said we created this and whatever, this is Brian's baby. Like him and Kelly Lawson really helped raise it, because Kelly's a mom to everybody, I guess.
She literally has 3 kids. You could tell what season we're on based on how many children she has.
Yeah.
That's the running joke.
And so
I understand.
So I came on, I think, after the 48-hour film fest in, what was that,
2017,
2017. Like we had worked on a couple projects together. I was doing mostly PA or work or locations. He was, off doing sound stuff and just being in a corner and complaining that things were too loud.
This is all wrong. It's wrong.
It's wrong. I can hear everything. And it's like, who's that crazy dude over there? But then he invited me to help write the 48-hour sketch that we did, The Office Case, and ended up winning a bunch of awards at the festival. And it was just like, okay, cool. This seems like we got a good thing going here. And then he had already started branching out into sketches, and then just kind of brought me into the fold. And then, my then I started, taking out the people I needed to take out to rise to the top.
yeah.
Sketch
He's
room.
really been sleeping his way to the top. Yeah.
Just with Brian over and over again, just like, okay, can I run this yet? So about 2-3-ish years now.
So what were you doing before? Are you from Oklahoma?
I'm from Oklahoma. I've worked in the film industry. I did a lot of PA stuff. Like I said, worked on sets kind of like that. But then I've also kind of mixed it up with, I worked at a production company in Tulsa, Kirkpatrick and Kinslow, where I got to write and direct like videos and commercials. So I've generally been around film my whole life, and with kind of divots into retail work and everything like that.
Is that some area you've ever gotten into? Is like oil and gas and commercials and stuff like that?
Yeah.
There's so many like, I don't want to say ads, but you know what I mean. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
That's I think like most of the people around here that work in the film industry, like most of us got our start working for a smaller production company.
Mm-hmm.
I started out working at a place called Grapevine Media, which I don't think is in existence anymore. Yeah. But we did a lot of oil and gas ads and stuff, going out onto the sites and
public service announcements.
Yeah.
They're not really.
And wearing our hard hats and our you go into like some of the industrial warehouses and stuff, and you got to wear that annoying beard cover thing. It's like a hairnet for your beard
and all the paperwork.
Yeah,
it's like, we're not responsible for this.
Because if you've got a great big bushy beard, you got to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
So where did you get? Are you from Oklahoma here as well? Or are you
at this point, I'm technically a transplant. I moved here from Turkey. My family was in the military, so we moved around.
My wife's
quite a
Army
bit.
brat.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
born in Germany.
Yep. Oh, nice.
Yep.
I was Air Force brat, and so we lived in Turkey before here, and I moved here in '96. So at this point, I'm from Oklahoma. Like,
that's her same story. They were all around in 94, 95. It's been here ever since.
Every once in a while, we still give them a weird look, though. Just like, no, you ain't from around here.
You ain't,
Yeah, not really. But
you ain't a true Okie.
There's little moments where, like, I have, like, little accent things that come out of, like, I say both with an L, both.
Yeah.
I guess that's not a thing here.
No, it's not.
No.
But I get
Everybody says both. Both. I say both.
So did you live on base?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Instant care based turkey, man.
Yeah. We actually got into some weird, talk about some like production stuff. It was stuff that would come on just I can't remember the channel, but there was the channel that you get on base, and it was like, American stuff.
the 3 channels.
Yes, the 3 channels. And it was like,
Yes.
she was looking up, there were like songs and stuff for people in the Army or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, when we were needed, we were there. That type of stuff, and it's all very, morale.
Oh, yeah, man. When you live on base, especially when you're in a foreign country, and especially when you're living in a foreign country that's like the Middle East and stuff like that, like there's a Leave It to Beaver aspect of being a kid on base.
It's all in black and white?
Perfect.
Everything's in black and white.
That's crazy.
No, it's funny because, like, whenever we lived on base, me and all the other kids, we'd play street hockey nonstop. Like, it was like the Sandlot, but it was street hockey.
Uh-huh.
And
there was a beast.
And there was a beast. Yeah. And he took our hockey puck.
Oh, we lost that puck, eh?
Yeah, but we
over the backyard fence.
We didn't watch we moved back to the States, and all these kids were talking about like, hey, did you see Chucky and like all these other movies from the early '90s
references
and stuff.
And
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
And I had no idea what anyone was talking about, because everything that we had over there, it was literally it was literally Leave It to Beaver and the Andy Griffith Show and like Carol Burnett Show and like all
You
these
really didn't know color.
classic, all these classic TV shows.
Wow.
Like everything on that Boomerang channel that they have now.
Yeah.
Like Nick at Night had more than what you were.
I Love
watching,
Lucy and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, yeah.
So like those were all of my pop culture references whenever I came to the States, and I was like, yeah.
That explains so much.
Did you go through like a Captain America period where you're like writing down cultural references to check out?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what any of these kids are talking about. But we remember Pogs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we had that, and then we were, my brother and I were really into X-Men trading cards. Okay. So we had books of X-Men trading cards. Yeah.
Okay.
And this was back in the 90s X-Men when we did have the X-Men animated series.
Yes.
So
but you guys couldn't get your hands on Pokemon.
we could
I don't think that was around yet.
Not in the 90s?
I don't know. This
That was late 90s. That was like
Okay.
99,
Okay.
2000.
Back in the Oregon
and then
Trail
you get like
days.
your
So before-
South Park episode about them.
Yeah.
And then that's when it happened. That's
Yeah.
the first time actually really.
When we
Anything
left
about
the
Pokemon.
States, Beavis and Butthead, I think, had just become a thing. And we were not allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead.
No, that was bad.
And like to this day, I don't think I've ever seen a Beavis and Butthead episode.
There's not really much to it.
Yeah.
It's mostly music videos. Like
Yeah.
they're sitting there, like just us sitting on the couch, and they're watching music videos. And they go like, "This is dumb."
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, I think I've seen little clips.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
this
it. And
is
then every
stupid.
now and then there's
Yeah.
like 10 minutes of something in between.
Yeah,
That's it.
that and Ren and Stimpy. I was just like, I don't,
God, Ren and Stimpy.
I don't get this. It's not funny to me.
Yeah, I didn't really like Ren and Stimpy either, but it was always like on when you didn't have anything else to watch.
Yeah.
Type of thing. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and you're like, I guess, But now that I look back on it, I'm like, what the hell was that?
Oh man,
Powdered Toast Man?
yeah.
I still can
don't
sing
even
log.
know.
I can sing the log song in my head
Yeah.
right now, right now, but I'm not going to do it.
My mom and dad would give us VHS tapes of. We would have a relative in the States that would record the old Looney Tunes episodes onto a VHS.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we had like a full VHS of like all these Looney Tunes episodes. So we would watch Looney Tunes on VHS.
We had the same thing. We moved when I was younger, and my grandfather would just like turn the Cartoon Network on and just record it for hours and hours.
I had
and
the
give
Disney
it to
Channel.
Us. Yeah.
When I was a
Nice.
little kid, yeah, someone
Yep.
did the same thing.
Yep.
You just get your 6-hour tapes.
That's right.
back
And
then.
so you got,
right.
so you really got to know like those specific
Oh,
episodes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot. I mean, that was all you had back then. Like especially with much less of it was like Disney Channel or even like being not there. Like it was just rural Oklahoma. It was like 3 channels for the longest time,
Yeah.
and then we had like 10.
now it feels like there's too much. Like there's too much to
Yeah.
keep up with.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
working
yeah.
my way through. We got the Disney Plus, and so I have been watching Rebels. Like I've just been marathoning Rebels, and then but there's like a crap load of other shows that I have no idea about.
How many of them are set in the Star Wars universe?
Okay, so there's Rebels. I've watched a little bit of Clone Wars, but Clone Wars is like a rabbit hole because there's no. They're episodic, you know. So there's no like through arc really.
Was that the one that came out way back in the prequels, Clone Wars?
Yeah,
A little
yeah,
after, yeah.
with Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah,
and
I always like
Obi-Wan.
thought of that one as like that's the stuff I wanted to actually see in the movie.
Right? That's the thing that blows my mind. How is it that the TV shows are the kids' TV shows are wildly better than the feature films?
Well, I mean, I never like ever since then. It seemed like that's what they did. Like for any there's always like an in between the movies.
Yeah.
With Star Wars, I'm like, okay, what's happening?
yeah,
Everyone comes up with, oh, what are we going to see next? You'd see none of that.
right.
None of it be in the movie.
All of this
And I'm
cool
like,
stuff.
Oh, cool. Oh, all right. And some of it's not even in those, but like now they definitely do like split it up into different franchises. I just don't go there anymore.
Star Wars makes me sad.
It-
The movies make me sad.
It's also pretty obsessive. So if you want to, you might need to cut this off at a certain point because he'll go.
Oh no, I will
Now
too.
listen.
I will too. I mean, because what's crazy is, like just trying to find the original.
yeah.
They're out there. I have them.
still have my VHSs.
I do too.
I almost gave them to my niece as a Christmas present, and then I realized that she's not going to appreciate.
Yeah, and you know
these.
what really pisses me off is like the very end of those, or not the very end, but like you're watching those videos and you'll turn them on and they'll go, check out Star Wars one last time. I'm like, yeah, this was like 94.
Yeah.
One last time my ass.
for the third time.
Yeah, that's why I still haven't seen the new one.
You're not missing anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't get into the whole, this is the end. This is the one last time. I'm sorry.
It's like, no, it's not. You're gonna do your Avengers with it. It'll be a new phase of Star Wars movies. There's no end to this.
Nick, did you see Rise of Skywalker?
I have not yet because you yelled at me too much about Last Jedi.
You didn't care for that either?
I still enjoy
Not a
that.
fan.
It has its flaws. I still enjoy that movie, and Brian hates it with a passion. So
Well, here's the thing, though.
I'm kind of in the middle on that.
Yeah.
Like I think you're both right.
Here's
Like,
the thing.
it's just-
You're
cool parts,
You're a gray Jedi in this one. Yeah.
see, this is
Deep
this
cut
is,
nerd
this is what
reference.
you've opened. This is the Pandora's
But
box.
here's the thing, Nick, you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
After watching Rise of Skywalker and seeing the full arc, I will say The Last Jedi is the best of the 3.
Now
that bar is
how
low.
you've talked about it, that's really almost an insult to these last 3 movies.
Yeah, the bar is low.
I enjoy.
But
I like
as a
Ryan
movie,
Johnson.
I will say It's the best of the three.
Nice. Okay.
To me, none of it tracks.
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
None of it tracks whatsoever.
It's all
Like,
unnecessary. This whole trilogy was unnecessary.
you know, like, why would I be doing this? What's going on?
You just
what's my
undid
motivation?
everything. Yeah.
Who's Ray? Who's Finn? What are these names?
Who
These
cares?
are sounds.
This sounds, yeah. And you know what? I was really pissed about. I was at this stage before all those movies came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like,
And then
Return of the Jedi
Then
is
the
not
Force
the
Awakens
best.
happens. I know, but the Force Awakens happens. Everyone saw the trailer. My wife is like, "Oh my god!" You know, you hear the,
Yeah.
I mean, your heart gets pulled. We all start loving it, and I was just like, "Yeah, I don't care. And then she kept showing me the trailer. I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty cool." And then J.J. Abrams in his glory, like he does a great job in that first.
Of just
Whatever he
of just
does.
doing a balancing act.
Yes.
Like and it's really impressive how he balances it. He's like, you got nostalgia, but the new stuff. But then in the end, you're just like, okay.
At the same time, talking about like a bar.
Yeah.
There's a bar, and he like barely leaps over
Yep,
it.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Just like it's like he should have just knocked the pole over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does, and then this is so awesome. He did it to Star Trek too. I hate those Star Trek movies.
Oh, what? I love those Star Trek movies.
You know what?
So, I like the first
Kelvin
one.
time.
I love the second one. I love the third one.
Yeah.
I went into the third one and I hated it 5 seconds in. And this is why.
Defeating the enemy with the
This is
power of
why.
rock
It
and
doesn't
roll.
track. It's the same thing. I go
Yeah.
in. It's a Star Trek movie. This is James T. Kirk. He loves space. He loves being a captain, and he wants to quit.
Yeah. How do you feel about the new Picard?
I've only seen the first episode.
Yeah, same here.
I like it. At the same time, I'm like, why did we need to heap this pile of shit onto Picard? Didn't he
Yeah.
have enough problems? Didn't
got
he have
abducted by the
Wolf
Borg.
359? You know, I mean, like he just like massacred half a Starfleet once. I don't think he needs to take anybody else out. They
Yeah.
have some troubles weighing on his shoulders. But I guess so. But I guess we're gonna see that. So
Yeah.
Trouble
that's
with
what it
Troubles
was.
2.
Yeah,
know.
I was like, man, God, and I was really a little confused. Like the Romulan, that was the stuff that happened in the J.J. Abrams world.
Right.
The Romulan supernova.
They're trying to marry the two, the Kelvin timeline with
are
the
they?
main
the
timeline.
Rick Berman type stuff. Okay.
So it's like, I don't know.
Do we need to?
I don't know.
Need to?
I mean, like, I kind of feel the same way
guess.
about. I got to watch the next episode because, like, the first episode of Picard was a little underwhelming for me because it was kind of like, you
It's
get
a
those
pilot.
nostalgic moments.
It was a pilot.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But
We'll see. You know.
But the Mandalorian's pilot was perfect.
You're listening.
Perfect.
Listening to Talking Star Wars.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to nowadays. I mean, it's everything. Like
Yeah.
I love a lot of these franchises. Not even just
Yeah.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
but it's everywhere. It's all Marvel stuff.
I'm
Comic
curious
books.
what's going to happen with this next. Was it Phase 4 of
I
Marvel?
don't know.
Phase whatever. I don't.
Phase
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
Man, I mean, like,
it's going to
Endgame-
start getting weird.
Endgame was like, Endgame has its issues, but I feel like they did the best wrap up
Yeah.
of that entire 10-year.
I
thing.
felt satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
like,
great.
where do
I mean,
you go
they,
from there?
Yeah.
For the set of characters that they have, and I mean, I'm gonna piss off Marvel fanboys here or girls, but I mean, for the group of characters that they have had and used and milked off these movies, I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Because no offense, I don't care about any of these people.
Right.
I really don't.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't. I never cared about Hawkeye.
No.
I never cared about Scarlet
Which?
or the
Scarlet
Scarlet Witch,
Mhm.
Black Widow. I kind of did some of that stuff. Like I knew Scarlet Witch was son of Magneto. I know all that nerd shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But nobody cared. Nobody cared about Thor. No. I mean, to a degree.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
Ant-Man.
totally did. Yeah,
I was
totally
clamoring
did.
for years for Ant-Man. Not really. I didn't care.
I mean,
It
but I
was
knew
a
what
show.
he was. I was a nerd that was really into that stuff. I never thought they were going to make a movie about it.
I actually really dug Ant-Man.
I love Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's great. I love Paul Rudd.
Oh,
What's
he's great.
wrong?
He's great. He's the best part of Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easily.
I don't think he's in it enough.
Yeah.
In any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I have not seen the sequel or whatever. The
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
pretty
I haven't
good.
seen that, but
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I got it. I mean, you have to now. That's like
Yeah.
most of the stuff, and like that's why people they kind of complain about movies
Right.
in
yeah.
general being all that stuff. You're talking about the Irishman,
Right.
when we first got in here, and Scorsese ripping on the this and that, and
Yeah.
directors others do it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's interesting how much pop culture rules just are like it occupies so much of our brain power, just like all of this pop
Well, we
culture
need something to do.
consuming. Yeah,
It's all
that's true.
entertainment.
Life's tough, man. I want to distract myself.
I seriously like,
Show me that new Iron Man 7.
I think that's what a lot of. I mean, you mentioned something about like, this generation's so poor. I'm like, hell, man, you just go home and play a game and keep yourself
Yeah.
occupied.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Shout out to Red Dead.
Is that really? I never even played that.
I am in a deep dive, a second playthrough.
Game, what was it? Grand Theft Auto 3 of this generation. It kind of seems
Yeah.
like. Did anyone ever play that?
Now, are you playing Red Dead
Two.
Two? Okay.
Yeah, that's
See, I still haven't played Red Dead 2.
Open world, just completely immersing yourself in the West.
Yeah.
It's good.
It sounds like where I'm from, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. You just go out and you're riding a horse, and
Dude, I will say, like,
I'm loving hunting. I don't like hunting in real life. I love hunting in the game.
Yeah. Okay.
when I was playing Red Dead on PS3, like there's a point where you go through the Great Plains area, and I was like, oh, I'm home. Like this is I'm
This is
just-
Turkey. Yes.
Yeah. Just driving to my parents' house.
Yeah, I don't get the. I mean, to a degree, like the suckiness of like people wanting to just do everything with Marvel movies and
Yeah.
that type of thing. I get it, but now everything's in shows, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if it needs to be.
Yeah,
there's
I
some
don't
of
know.
these
That's
things-
a really. It's
Like,
been a really
that was
interesting.
the argument at the first, wasn't it? Like, we were
yeah.
like, oh, this needs to be a show.
Right.
It shouldn't be a short thing. It needs to be longer.
Yeah. And
now we're on the ass end of that, and we're like, I don't know. Did that need to be a show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
could have
feel
just been a
like
mini
the,
series.
It's interesting, like the way that the film industry has kind of shifted over the last couple of years. Where I mean, features, just feature films, standalone feature films, they're just kind of losing popularity because it's so hard to get people to come out to the movie theater
And then make money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like even the binge model is starting to wane, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because like with Disney Plus and with HBO, with these streaming services and stuff, these executives are starting to realize that to continue to be in the conversation for a long amount of time, you want to like everyone's already done talking about The Witcher.
Yeah.
You know, people are still talking about The Mandalorian, and people are still talking about Game of Thrones.
And plus I hear people like, kind of hash these two out, but it's like, is it worth it to just dump it all at once?
Well, and I can also say, like, as a filmmaker, that has got to be the most frustrating thing in the world, to just slave away for the past year to build
drop it all.
10 episodes, and then within a week, people are like, "Where's more?
Yeah.
Can we have more? What? I just gave you
But see, that's
10 hours of content.
Sure, but that's like the weirdo that like, leveled everything up within the day the game came out. You know what I mean? Like most everybody's month, 2 months, 6 months, year later or whatever. But like you're missing out on all that togetherness. Everyone talks about that, like with Game of Thrones, like that was going to be the last one, which I don't think it is.
No.
but
No, I
at
think
least
there's
something.
already
No.
like 2 spinoffs.
I mean, already Mandalorian popped up, and everyone was like, "Ooh, Mandalorian!"
Yeah,
Like,
now,
there's
is it
gonna
the
be more
one
of these
God
shows.
and everybody is watching? I don't know. Like Game of Thrones, but it could be.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about something like that is like you gotta give it air and years and seasons and things.
I still haven't watched the last season of Game of Thrones.
You can
It
skip
kind of
it.
has like a Lost thing about it, to where like
Yeah,
I
they
don't even want to watch Lost.
Yeah, they
Because like I already know it. It's
more about the journey,
ending sucks.
right?
Yeah, I guess
it is just like Lost. They start doing time travel. It's real weird. Arya shows up in the
Flashbacks, flash forward.
It turns out the
Yeah.
dragons were in a snow globe the whole time.
Then Arya pulls out an iPad and ends the war.
Well, like whenever I found out that the one who's crowned king is just the kid who's been sitting on his ass for the entire series.
Yeah.
We crown you king.
And
What
that-
did you do to earn this?
Talk about writing, man. Like
Yeah.
No, and
I
none of those
waited.
scenes earned it. Like every one of those episodes in the last season was like they were like handing it to you, like, look, we've finally done it. And it's like, you haven't earned this at all.
Yeah.
Like,
But
why?
I saw the three-eyed raven.
I think there's something about the big screen, and
Yeah.
like when you go to a movie, it's got to be impactful.
Yeah.
Not that it's got to be like a thriller or anything, but just like whatever you're watching, it's got to be like, I'm here, I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
But like these shows, like they went like with Game of Thrones and they just changed everything from like an hour and a half. For some, I don't know if they did that for all of them, but there's some of those scenes you're like, this is made for a movie.
Yeah.
This is not a TV show.
Right.
This is a great shot. This is a great cinematography. This scene where Arya's running through the town and things blowing up and it's all one shot. And I'm like, that's amazing. It's not a show. It's supposed to be on that's supposed to be on the big screen.
Yeah, dude. Enjoyed.
I am here to eat dialogue and facts and story and all goings-ons and seeing things. None of that happened. No. I mean, well, seriously, like if you're gonna waste time, like that's like that's the whole point. Like talking about Netflix, I see a lot of like there's really amazing things that come out of Netflix, but then there's some just like
not great stuff.
Like the budget on this stuff is like okay, you know, and not to knock the work or anything, but it's just like. You could have kept this one, you know. Or it's like it's just.
I feel like
barely meeting that bar, you know.
Netflix is making so much money from all those subscription fees that they keep raising. They're just like throwing content.
Netflix can take a loan out all at once, and then they can raise subscription fees. You know what I mean? Right. Like that's really how. Who's going to buy them?
Yeah,
like somebody's got to do it. Is it going to be a movie company?
Yeah, Apple.
Well, Amazon. Like, I don't think it matters anymore. It doesn't really have to be a movie thing anymore.
Yeah,
it can just be like you say.
Yeah,
Disney.
Oh, jeez.
Why would they? Yeah, but I would see that.
Disney's gonna rule the planet eventually. Like, have you seen those memes that are like 2020? Disney acquires Fox.
Dude, I've seen enough South Park with the Mickey the Mouse coming in. He's basically like a mob boss.
Yeah,
I get it, but. I've seen too many of that. But it's just like, that's, I mean, why? You're talking about like not enough time. It's like, I can't sift through that stuff.
Right.
You know,
there's too much stuff.
I'm going to hang out for the one thing that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Or I know I've heard about like Mandalorian. Yeah. I know.
Yep.
I kind of take the same approach that the whole Star Wars franchise. I kind of applied that a little bit to the Mandalorian. I was kind of like, I don't care. To a degree, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I love it. I haven't even watched it all. My wife was watching it. I kind of catch it on, and I'm like, neat.
Yeah,
you know, and I will go through it because some of it's the time thing, but at the same time, I'm like, it's got to really grab you. Like right now, what I was talking about before heading up here with my wife was, I don't know if you're into it, but there's a Sandman movie. That's trying to be cast.
I've heard that's like been in development for.
That's been in development like my entire life.
Yeah,
I think and it's like one of those where it's like, do I want you to touch this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, there's so many things out there now. Like I just don't touch it.
Yeah, well, it's like the Princess Bride. Like they were talking about doing a Princess Bride reboot, and it's just like
that's not a remake.
There will be riots in the streets if you reboot,
and it'll all be Brian.
Movie,
just Brian.
It'll be an army of one.
That's not
buildings will burn.
That's a great example. That's not a brand.
Yeah,
it's not a brand at all. It's a storybook.
Yeah,
it's a fairy tale, man. Like
it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Don't touch it. Stop touching things.
How could you ever capture that?
You can't.
In a bottle. You'd never do it.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
and then expect me to go pay money and go watch it.
Well, that's the frustration with all these franchises. Like, you catch lightning in a bottle one time.
Yeah.
And that is very, very hard to do. Like, we produce sketches. Catching lightning in a bottle is so fucking hard that we'll do it once.
Jokes landing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, we kind of know somewhat of a formula, but, like, it's really fucking hard to be able to actually catch lightning in a bottle.
It's something I noticed is like you can have the same joke.
Yeah.
And it will just not land at all.
Oh, dude,
like
welcome to the world of stand-up.
Oh, that's stand-up. Yeah, and say I don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
Like it's just
that's the most frustrating thing in the world because like, I've dabbled in stand-up and like I'll have one night where the set just kills and then the next night, nothing. Fucking crickets.
Because it's more about you working the crowd in a way. Weird way.
That's
like reading the crowd at least. It's like you could go out there and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" And like these people are like, "I'm not into that at all."
Yeah, and
you'd be surprised. Like with stand up, like the room itself can affect the way that the set goes. Because if it's like a really deep room as opposed to like a really tight room where the audience is pressed up close to the stage, that actually has an effect on how your set goes. So it's really interesting how like just the atmosphere. Just the building itself can actually have an effect on your comedy.
Yeah. There's nothing funner than just like being 50 feet away from the audience as they're like at the bar and they got their drink and they're just kind of eyeballing you of like, I wish this guy had stopped talking. And you're just like, haha, right?
Yeah. So there is some reading the room, But I don't know, man. Every stand-up that I've ever talked to has always been like, yeah, it's fucking crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. What's let's say the difference between like that and improv? Because you're up there just doing your own thing, and you don't have to like wait for the audience. Really,
the difference between stand-up and improv is that stand-up, beyond the fact that it's just you standing up there by yourself with a microphone, improv, you're working with a team of people where if you're doing it correctly, you don't get to enjoy the punchline. Your job is to do the setup for someone else to enjoy the punchline.
Sure.
And so it's a lot more collaborative, and there's also an interactive aspect to improv that is very different than stand-up. First of all, people, when you start off a scene by gathering suggestions from the crowd, so literally they are a part of what's happening on stage. Whereas with stand-up, there are some people that are able to improvise a lot of their sets. Like I would say Bill Burr is one of those.
Yeah.
But for the most part, stand-ups write their sets, sometimes even word for word, and it's prepared and really stressed over for weeks or months at a time, and then it's brought to the audience, and the audience just enjoy it. The audience is just there to enjoy it. With improv, it's all there on the spot, and the audience is literally affecting the scene that they're watching. It's really cool. It's like watching magic in a way.
Okay, yeah. So you're really feeding off of.
Oh yeah.
Is it just like laughter, or is it sometimes just like, other feelings in a weird way?
Sometimes it's even heckling. In stand-up, when you get a heckler, it's fucking. It'll just it throws off your rhythm. It throws off, your timing, everything.
Yeah.
With improv, if you get a heckler, that heckler is now part of the scene.
Yeah. So, add them into it. All right.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of stuff like that when I was in high school. I was in speech and debate, and then that was it as far as like acting goes. I did that for 3 years, and shout out to MEP if anybody knows what that is.
I wish I would have taken debate class.
Well, it was weird.
I'm here to debate you.
It was split up into two different things. You had speech, and then you had debate.
Yeah.
And then some people would only do one or the other.
Oh.
So it was like, some people would do humorous interp or standard oratory or whatever, and then some people would just do like Lincoln Douglas debate and cross-examination. All right, where I'm from, Guyman, they won state every year.
Oh wow,
that was like, I remember one year they lost by like 1 point to Jinx or something.
Wow,
and they were just like devastated.
Yeah,
my teacher, dude, he got up and was like, he laid out all of the scenarios, how if somebody else got 1 point over here in this dramatic interp.
Yeah,
if somebody, rough. Yeah. He just went through every judge, every little card. I was like, yeah, you got second.
Yeah. I did that for a couple of years, and I think I was actually like top 10 in debating for the state just because I didn't know what I was doing, but my partner did, and he would write down all my arguments, and I would basically just like read them and stand up there. Hey,
that's all it was.
That's all it was. It was just like pulling out, like someone will read off a piece of paper, and then someone will pull out another piece of paper and read off that.
Yeah.
And I really thought, like going into it, like it would be like, I object to that, sir, and blah blah blah. But it really, but it really is just like, he pulled out the page 2, so I got to pull out page 64 that counteracts that, and it's like, it was like a card game, but just talking, and I was not good at it.
Did you do just Lincoln Douglas?
No, I did CX, and then the next year I started doing stuff like humorous interp and a little bit of stuff like that. So those speech and debate weekends were they were fun.
I got into it by total accident.
Mm-hmm.
You got in an argument and the story wrote itself.
And then some scouts sitting over there like, I like the way this kid argues.
As far as stuff like that, I do that now, like on my Twitter feed. Like I just make shit up.
Oh,
yeah.
You're fake news.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you this whole time.
Yeah. I don't care. I used to like, let's make it, sensible and I'm just crazy now. I don't care. Like I just want to be out there. Yeah. But yeah, I just got into it on an accident. Like I was a freshman, 9th grade, and you kind of like make that leap. At least where I was, like sometimes from like junior high, depending on wherever. Yeah. Sometimes you don't go to like high school until I think you're like a junior, depending on where you're at. Mm-hmm. But you got to like now you've got electives. You're not just taking math and geography.
Now you can do fun things.
Yeah, fun things, and that's why I had signed up for like woodworking class or something, and it was just like not my bag. I mean, I'm into woodworking stuff now, but it was just like the teacher I'd had before and I didn't like it and that sort of thing. And I was like, let's transfer out of here.
Yeah.
And that was like the first week, and I didn't even know, but somebody was like, hey, just come in here.
Yeah.
Speech and debate. I was like, all right. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then got into it. And I wish I did a lot more because it was so much fun, but I hated memorizing stuff.
Oh, dude.
Talk about memorizing stuff for like stand-up.
Well, that's literally why I enjoy improv.
Because it's just
more
seat
than
your pants,
stand-up.
shooting from the hip.
Yeah, like there's no, I act from time to time, and honestly,
True Detective.
I act in True Detective, and like memorization is just the fucking worst.
Yeah.
And especially like when you're on camera and everything, and all the lights are on you, and then like, so normally I'm a sound guy. So normally I'm behind the camera, hiding behind my sound card, listening to people as their hearts are racing, trying to remember these lines. And like, I've always said that like, you know what? If you wanted to like really torture somebody, like go to Guantanamo Bay and just force these people to just perform on camera.
Yeah, to do an improv scene.
Yeah. No. They have to memorize a monologue, and they have to get it perfect the first take, and they'll be like, I'll tell you anything. And I'll give you all the information you need.
I would have loved to. I mean, I just didn't get in. Not that I didn't get into it, but it was like everyone wants to do the humorous duets.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do original oratory.
No one wanted to do dramatic interp.
No, none of that stuff, man. I mean, looking back at it now, I totally see the merit of it, and like I would have wanted to do that stuff, but I was like a kid, I was like in high school. I was like, this is dumb.
If you want a challenge of acting, those actually are challenging, because you have to go into this random classroom with just in front of the only other people who are in there most of the time are the other contestants and one judge, and then you have to like just be sitting at a desk and then go up there and then perform like an actual like dramatic
and then
monologue.
if it's really good, people come and watch you.
Yeah.
And then you'll have like, especially for the humorous duets, like just like the classroom or wherever it is, they would put it in different places so more people could come.
Oh, cool.
Like an auditorium or something.
It was fun stuff, but at the same time, it was just
it's like nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
like
it really
you not
is.
want to like. I mean, that's how it rolled. But even when you were learning it in school, you would be sent out of the classroom.
Oh, wow.
Like you're performing today.
Wow.
And
that's kind of cool though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And like you would go be sent out.
All your
I didn't
lines.
understand any of it though. You know what I mean? Like I look back on it now, I'm like, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But being 15, I'm like,
this is terrifying.
Oh,
yeah, God, I guess I gotta do it.
Yeah.
And then I would start memorizing like the night before.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm there, trying to still like get the lines down, much less perform.
I'm still terrified of going up on lines. Like, whenever I was in junior high, I did my only community theater ever, which was for Macbeth, and I forgot my lines in a Shakespeare play. And let me tell you, you can't improvise your way.
Oh yeah, you can. You can. Doth thou in the room?
There you go.
Try like when you forget your lines, like you're supposed to like kind of like improvise your way and come back around until you can remember.
Yeah.
When you're speaking in Shakespearean, you're just like I doth.
Wherefore art thou Macbeth?
Mine doth tremglomb.
Line.
Mercutio. This is Macbeth. Mercutio.
Yeah, I mean, I could not do.
And then the poor actor acted across from me had to like maintain, and he just kept repeating his line. Torture.
Yeah, that does sound like torture.
That's the thing, man. Like, just getting in front of people, like public speaking. That's really what it is. Like, I'm shy, and here I am doing podcasts and stuff, but like, I just don't want to talk in front of people a lot or speeches. I do a lot better of it now being older, but like.
That is a funny thing. Like Brian and I are both very introverted, I think, and yet we jump on and do these podcasts and these sketches. And
blast it loud and clear. Yeah.
I think that there's something to that though, because like I've gotten better about being introverted because I used to be like pretty socially awkward. Then I got on drugs.
Used to be.
But like, there's something about being in front of a microphone and having headphones on, or like being in front of an audience where it's not exactly an interactive format where you can shine. Like I've noticed that about a lot of stand-ups and even a lot of improvisers. Those are two very different personalities though, stand-ups and improvisers.
Well, stand up, you're always by yourself.
You're by yourself, yeah.
That's it.
And so, like, you have a lot more introverts in the stand-up community. They're kind of control freaks, you know, because that's just the nature of the game, like with stand-up. With improvisers, they are introverted. It's a different kind of introverted, but they're also socially awkward in a very dramatic way most of the time, you know, because these are typically ex-theater kids.
Yeah.
And so they're used to acting.
Yeah, performance artists. Yeah.
Whereas like stand-ups are just like, I fucking hate everything.
I'm gonna burst your bubble.
Yeah. Let me just drop a truth bomb on you. All right? Okay. I'm Bill Burr.
But I do think it's like just that introversion of like, I'll just be quiet, I'll be quiet. But, you know, inside they're like, I want to scream something. So once you get a mic, you can take an introvert, give them a mic, and it's just like, you're listening? Oh, I have some thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, type
well,
of
like
thing.
Gilbert Gottfried is a huge introvert. Like he is super private, very, very quiet. That is not his real voice. And then he gets on stage and like he's talked about it pretty openly about how he's terrified every single time he's about to step up on stage, and then he grabs the mic and he's chill. Like I would say
cool.
that's pretty typical, because like, and there's something to that. Like it seems like if you don't have those butterflies before you get in front of an audience, or you know, jump up on stage or get behind a mic, then I think that it kind of takes away from the performance in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it's not authentic, but
It's
like
just
they're not having to work for it as hard.
Yeah, it's not a sink or swim moment.
Yeah.
And with improv, there is that moment of just an oh shit, your brain completely blanks.
Yeah,
and
like
people are
favorite
staring
people
at you.
you like working with, because I mean, it's the same thing, like feed off each other.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. My improv troupe, I definitely have my favorites within the troupe.
Name
You'll find
them.
me jumping out on stage with certain people a lot more than others. You know, but there is definitely, the nature of improv is so cool. And it's the principles of improv we try to apply to everything that we do with Okie Show Show, of, you know, yes-anding, have your partner's back, support each other, you know, don't tear each other down, don't deny, you know, so like when somebody makes a suggestion, you don't go, no. Yeah. If it's a bad suggestion, then you say, okay, that's good. Now you brought a brick, and now I'm going to bring a brick, and we're going to build something together. But I'm not just going to negate everything that you say. I'm going to yes-and it and support you. And I think that whenever you apply those principles just to life in general, and to, you know, some kind of an organization like what we have with Okie Show Show, it just makes things run more smoothly, creatively, and more enjoyably, honestly.
Yeah.
Enjoyably, is that a word?
Sure.
Well, I think a lot of people are looking for that too, not just like specifically, but at the same time, especially like in the stuff we've talked about on our podcast and the stuff like I kind of go after or whatever. I'm like, it's really easy to be not negative, but point out things that are wrong.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it's
really
super easy to point out, well, this is bullshit. It's a lot harder to figure out a solution.
I want the next, not even a solution sometimes. I want the thoughts afterwards. You know what I mean? I want you to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's so much easier to tear something down than to build it up.
Yeah. There's some, like, I did a lot of that, like at first, especially like with like the podcast, and it's just like, one, it doesn't land on people's ears very well. Not just like audio wise, but just like you attacking stuff.
Yeah.
Or bursting bubbles is not great either, because like some people are like, oh, I like that.
That's
I like my bubble.
I like Marvels.
That's my
comic books, and you're what? You know,
my favorite ASMR video is the busting of bubbles.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, it's kind of necessary. You know, do it.
Yeah.
You know, seriously, man, people just get like ahead of themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I said, constructive criticism. It's
Yeah.
cool, but there's nothing wrong with being positive.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I saw something on around here that was local, and it's like, I think it's like the guy that does the like food column. I ate Oklahoma, and like I saw something on his website, and he's like, I'm not here to tear down bad restaurants. It's like they're gonna do that on their own.
Yeah, it's very
But
true.
I apply that to like what you're talking about too. Like,
Yeah.
like if it's gonna be horrible or like you suck. Yeah, you're gonna find yourself where you're gonna find yourself.
Well, and
at a
that's the
certain time,
thing.
you know?
Like, you know, it's very interesting for, you know, people that are trying to make a living in film. making a living is very, very difficult in the entertainment industry because it's super competitive. And one of the things that I have noticed is that, you know, people tearing each other down and talking shit about each other and stuff, that is kind of an amateur game.
Yeah.
The people that are working professionally and doing it for a living, they don't really do that.
Yeah.
You know, because
they want to rise above that shit.
Well, I mean, it just doesn't help anything. Like we're in this together. We're supposed to be a crew that works together and collaborates. And if you're an arrogant asshole, no one's going to want to work with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If and you guys keep calling me for some reason.
It's just the talent.
But, you know, it's I think that it's very easy to have kind of that lobster mentality, you know, when you're in a super competitive field of like trying to lift yourself up and tear other people down. I think that that's something that we kind of run into a lot just in general, just in society in general, but like most especially in the entertainment field. And one thing that we have always strived to do with Okie Show Show is, and this is something that I struggle with, of being negative and, you know, and even talking some shit. Like I am constantly trying to keep myself in check because like that doesn't help anything. And it's so much better for in the long game to be lifted up by those around you as opposed to tearing people down so that you stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, you talked about like it's because it's so competitive. Like, why do you think it is like that in the industry more so than other than?
I think that there's a real arrogance to it. You know, for some reason, our society has put filmmaking on a pedestal. I don't fucking know why.
No,
I really don't know why, because like it's just a job. Like, I think it's because people turn on their, you know, black box, and that's what they see. It's in their forefront, and so they're fascinated by there's a mystical aspect to it. And so whenever you do it professionally, you know, something, maybe they think that says something about you.
Well, I mean, you could probably, like, you've done sketches and stuff, and like you show it to somebody, and I'm sure they'd be like, "Oh, wow, and you're like, "Oh, I shot this." And
or you mention one thing I do is like I worked with such and such, like a kind of a known celebrity or something, and people are just like, what? and they're like fascinated by it. Like, what are they like? And it's like, they're a person.
Yeah,
like
just a normal guy.
They chill out and sometimes eat the craft service.
Or I
said hi.
He was an asshole.
Yeah. Or you break their dreams. So I go, oh yeah, that dude sucked. Like, he's not a good person.
Super huge asshole.
Yeah. Oh, now I've got. That's what I got to tell everybody now.
Yeah.
You're giving me troll material here.
Right.
I was like, I do like to do that. I guess troll people, but
but it's something that if you're wanting to make a living, you know, you need to. Everything is reference based in the film industry, and even in the music industry and stuff. I think it's a different kind of collaborative world in the music industry, but you know, you're reference based. So if you're an asshole and you're slowing down production, because time is money on a set. So like, if you're a dick that can't communicate with people, no one's
time
going to
for you.
Yeah, we literally don't have time for you. You are burning cash as you're trying to show other people up, and it just doesn't work. So it's really better to be a team player and to be positive. Yeah. Because also, that's another thing. Like, whenever you're working on a feature and those 12-hour days start running together, and you have somebody that just nonstop talks shit or is just constantly negative,
like, I hate
it.
You.
Just sucks the joy out of your day, and you gotta spend all this time with this fucker.
Yeah, it's like that in music industry quite a bit.
Yeah,
like you're just like,
just
I have to
shut up.
3-day weekend with you.
Yeah. Great.
Help me now. You know?
Yeah. That's where I think stand-up's kind of, they have it lucky, you know, because, like, since they're an island of one, basically.
Yeah, they're lucky, just lonely.
And they are. They are very lonely.
And looking for venues in KC. Is there anything that you know of, like, in Tulsa? Or, like, I know that's the next...
You know, Tulsa's actually got a pretty good comedy scene. They have a loony bin up there. I don't know if they have any other, like, strictly comedy clubs. I know they don't have an improv theater. But
I know bigger acts have played through there, like at a theater or a certain place.
Like they've got the Blue Whale Comedy Festival. They've had a couple big people.
As far as music goes, their music scene's fucking insane. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel so unplugged from the music scene though now. Because that's originally where I came from, was playing music
now
around here. And
Fidelis is all somewhat retired.
We're not retired. We're actually getting ready to release an EP, but we just don't play live anymore.
Yeah.
What do you play?
So I play in a band with my wife called Fidelis. Fidelis. That's actually how you say it.
Yeah, your voice has got to crack. Fidelis.
And it's kind of a folk duet of Monsters and Men meets Decemberists kind of feel.
Okay. Were you doing guitar or? What?
I do guitar, a little bit of banjo, a little bit of mandolin, and then my wife plays ukulele, piano, and drums.
They're really good.
Often at the same time.
They're really fun.
And then Nick's beautiful wife adds some violin and vocals from time to time.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys play, which is
Whenever we play live?
Which is never.
Where would you play at?
Oh, dude, we used to play at like Blue Note and the Speakeasy. Belle Isle Brewery was a really good place. We used to play down in Norman at the
Opolis.
Opolis is
at
like
the Opolis.
There's no places to play. When
Yeah.
I mean, zero.
Yeah.
Conservatory, maybe.
Yeah.
That's around here, isn't it?
It used to be. Now it's 89th Street Collective, I think. But yeah, we used to play the conservatory all the time.
Long time ago,
Back
man.
when it was voted worst bathrooms in the U.S. And let me tell you,
That's a distinction.
you know, people say that they have their heroes, but I just want you to know that I pooped in the conservatory. Hero. That takes courage.
Brave soul. I've pooped in Turkey. I can poop here.
I can't remember who we went and saw there, but I've got friends that were in a bigger band and did touring and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
there was always somebody that came through, and we went up there one time, and I was like, "This is it."
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Back then, it was like concerts. No, like, well, I say that there was concerts here, and then they just dropped off, and everyone's just started going to Tulsa.
Yeah.
That was how it was through the aughts for the longest time.
The scene has changed a lot, which is weird because it feels like it changed. Like ACM came in
Like really
and,
fast.
It changed real fast because like back in my day, it was you know, it was us and like Sherry Chamberlain and you know the Ugly Suit was still around and golly, like Samantha Crane and Allie Harder and like all these other bands. Horse Thief. I think they still play. I think
I've heard them. Yeah.
I know Cameron has moved out to LA and he does a lot of he plays on a lot of different other bands.
Mm-hmm.
But Horse Thief I think is still playing. But like we also had like the Non. JB, we used to play with JB all the time.
The garlic naan.
The Garlic Non.
Ooh, none. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So, and it's just all changed now. Like I really don't know a whole lot of bands nowadays. I know that we have a vibrant music scene still, and we, as a entertainment podcast, need to get more plugged into that, which is something that I have been trying to do a lot more of, like bringing the music side of things.
Yeah.
Like we just talked to Kevin Lively, who works at ACM. He does mastering, and so we talked to him about like the technical aspects of do you know what mastering is? Nick, do you know? You weren't there on that interview.
Kinda.
Were you?
I was trying to make some kind of masturbation joke, but
Yeah.
it just didn't come yet.
But like, you know, he kind of pulls back the veil on that and like explains it all. And you know, we talked to JB this season. We've got a couple other people that are you know, in the music scene around here that we're trying to get on. We're trying to, knock on wood. But yeah, it's been interesting, like trying to get plugged back into that world that I've honestly kind of pulled away from. And I honestly, like as a performer, don't really miss it all that much.
Right.
Like I see pictures of people like playing their shows and stuff, and it's just like, I mean, have fun,
That's
man.
work, man.
Yeah,
It
have
really
fun
is.
because like it's a fuck ton of work.
It's a grind. And like, especially like after like, since it's always a passion project, it's like doing your regular work and then waiting until like 9:30, then heading out to go play your show. And it's just like, dude.
I mean, just seeing like people that I've known like go tour and record and it's just like
it's a lot of.
There's not a lot of money in it.
No, well, and that was one of
To
the
a
things
degree,
that
you know what I
that's
mean?
why we kind of decided to stop playing live shows so much because you know, first of all, it's always hard to get a decent enough crowd that it pays both
Something.
the venue and they buy your merch and stuff, and so that it's profitable. So like I approached most of this stuff from a business standpoint of like what is going to create revenue so that we can continue doing this rather than us just burning cash to make our dream come alive. And that's a tricky thing with live music, like especially live indie music, where you have kind of a niche audience. So that's kind of why we took a step back.
You're like making it smaller on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're like, shit.
Like there's even the big bands, like when you're in the indie scene, like it's really hard to make profit, in the music world unless you become huge.
Well, especially nowadays. I mean, all the profit structures changed, I'm sure.
The music business has totally
changed.
changed.
Yeah, it's just everything's different now with Spotify and everything, but just the internet in general.
Well, and also like you get your music up on, like, we've had our albums up on iTunes and Spotify and stuff, and so we still make a little bit of revenue off of that. But like, you'll have people downloading your album, and then the distributor takes a cut. So by the time you finally get your check,
it's pretty.
It's pretty. I mean, it
takes a lot to distribute, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into this, into creating something, and then womp womp.
I mean, it's kind of like when you like just talking about like binging earlier. You just let it drop, and you're like, God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are those? I mean, I guess they're still a thing. Like, this is the old me talking.
If you treat them the right way, like you use them as promotional material.
Yeah, and that's what they always were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I don't ever do like new acts make a lot of music videos now. I mean, it doesn't seem like they do.
I don't watch MTV anymore, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
When's the last time MTV played a music video?
That's my point. Like, you'd see it on there anyway. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like now they can just drop it on YouTube. I think the last time that I remember somebody pushing a music video in front of me on purpose and it was really well was Weird Al.
Nice. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
What's it like how he did it? Where it
This
was
is
like,
America.
Like he just did like
each.
Well, one he stretched it out,
Mm-hmm.
and then two it was like, hey, this is a. I mean, I can't remember how he got it, like the funding for it. I think he just went to like, hey, this is Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yahoo funded, and it was a different site each song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go.
I think that people respond better to having something visual, which is that's one of the other reasons why we started doing sketches and started releasing videos on YouTube as a podcast, because like the audio format is good, but people really register with having something visual. And so like for a band to do a music video, you put something that they can watch, that they can then go, oh, I like that song. I'm watching this and I'm hearing this song now that I otherwise wouldn't have listened to.
It's just stimulating the most senses as possible. That's why we're in 2021, we're going to bring back smell-o-vision to our sketches.
That's right. Yeah.
And if you lick the screen, I'm sure it tastes like something.
It's got to give you something, I mean, like, I loved music videos.
Yeah, that's how you're going to get the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I licked this music video and...
please like and lick.
They tried. I mean, I don't get it. That's like 3D movies. I mean, did that really take off?
No,
it didn't.
No.
I really loved watching Avatar, though.
That was great.
That was awesome.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anything like it since.
Nope. But I'm not going to pay an extra $10 to wear glasses that make it dark.
And give me a headache.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not into that.
Oh, Gravity was a good one.
Gravity that was solid.
Like for some, perfect.
When a movie is
I
designed
could see that movie as a
for
good 3D.
Okay, really good.
Yeah, when it's shot and designed for 3D.
That's
really
what I always
good.
thought. All these other ones were like not for that.
Yeah,
No.
they do the post-conversion, and it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Yeah, exactly, dude. God.
I can reach out and touch that X-Wing.
I never pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's,
Neither do I.
I mean, I'll watch like an IMAX movie, but not like a 3D one. Like, just make it HD.
You watch an IMAX movie, and there's literally more to the movie that you otherwise wouldn't see if you went to a different format.
Mm-hmm.
It's whiter, and it's better, and the sound is amazing.
I honestly won't watch Avatar.
Yeah?
No, like I've seen it on TV once or twice.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a weird one to try to watch at home.
It does not have the same impact.
Yeah.
No.
It's like a cool movie,
It's a
but
cool
it's like
movie.
not the
It's seen it in theaters, and you're like, that was a cool experience, but
Hey, do you want to watch that blue Pocahontas movie?
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, there's like a part where you're in a cockpit and like you look like you're in the cockpit looking down. I'm like, I'm not gonna get that in my living room.
Yeah.
I'm just not, But they try.
I don't know. It's really interesting seeing how the theaters are starting to. It kind of feels like an act of desperation at this point. They're like, okay, we've got 3D, and the chairs will vibrate, and couches. Now we have alcohol, and it'll convert into a couch, and eventually you'll fly.
Yeah,
that's what Warren does. You know, old timey feel.
It's either the old timey feel to harken back to the glory days of movies, or doing everything they can to make it your living room. So it's like, come binge at our place.
Yeah, so you can fall asleep easier.
Yeah,
all those people do, like, all I've noticed is like they build that stuff up and then they sell it. They get rid of it. They're like, wow, thanks. Yeah, because it ain't going anywhere. I don't think it is, but I mean, I love going to the movies, but
I do
it's
too.
just not. Nobody does. Like I went in the day before. Speaking of Star Wars, it was the Rise of Skywalker was about to come out, and we went in there to Warren for. I had my daughter with me, and we were going to watch a random matinee. She'd never been to a movie before.
Oh, cool!
So it was that experience.
That's fun.
So we go in there, and there is nobody there. I mean, nobody. I know it's like the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Matinee. I mean,
were you watching Charlie's Angels?
Nah, it's Frozen 2. Sadly,
They're for cats.
Cat. Oh God. Yeah. No, but
that is the one movie that I would love to do drugs.
I really kind of.
There's nobody there watching. Even that's like one person. We go into Frozen 2. We're the only people in there. Nobody's there.
They all let it go.
Usually you go in there. There's somebody like one person.
Yeah.
Two something.
Nothing.
There's more people working there than watching movies.
It always is funny when it's only one or two people, because then you get really mad at those one or two people of just like, oh, it's so close.
Don't sit close to me.
Get away from me.
Like, why did you have to ruin it?
I wanted to have my own private screening room.
I wanted to go out in public to be alone.
But that's what it is now. That's what I felt like. And somebody was like, oh, I went and was getting concessions, and like basically those people's jobs is just to get gift cards for grandmas.
Yep.
As they come in for Christmas, and because that's all they're doing, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And they're
that's
gonna go.
The thing that baffles me about, like, you see at these movie theaters where they're showing like a Broadway play or like some theater thing that they're going to broadcast live. Who is going to the movie theater to see, the Broadway theatrical, like just a live video of this thing?
I honestly would.
I mean, it sounds cool, but like I've never had any just.
Well, speaking of, I don't know if I'd go just for that, but like that is something that I've seen like other places do, where it's like, hey, come here and we're gonna watch this like Doctor Who episode,
right? Or like
that I would go.
That's
to.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Or a special showing of a movie from a long time ago that you love.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Yeah,
I will say that whenever the Day of the Doctor came out, they showed it in IMAX at the movie theater, and so like me, my wife, and her friend were like super into Matt Smith's Doctor Who, so we went, and it was a theater full of Whovians, and it was amazing. Never seen so many sonic screwdrivers in one room. It was awesome.
Yeah. I just not recently, but like I never was into that back in the day, and then. Yeah, I got into it.
I dropped off after Matt Smith left.
I kind of did too.
Yeah,
I like Peter Capaldi.
I think I've seen like his first episode, and then I just didn't watch anymore.
There is no moment with Peter Capaldi. All those other people, you have a moment with them. And it's not the first, it's not the second time you see him. It's not, it might be in the middle of their arc, wherever it is. But they have like a moment, and you're like, this is for real. Yeah. Like this is like some shit's going down, and like, or you don't just think like this is for real. Like this person is amazing. Some amazing shit is about to happen. I never thought that with Peter Capaldi. Yeah. A lot of it has to do with like him, like just the way he is in general. Like he's just kind of a downer. Yeah. Like he's feeling old down on crotchety. Yeah, he's feeling old and crotchety. So I'm like, you're gonna feel old and crotchety. Yeah. But I never felt that moment where he was like, holy shit, watch out. We're about to pull some shit here, and it's going to be amazing. Yeah. I never felt that.
I kind of felt that way about David Tennant, too. I never really got into David Tennant.
Oh, man, he's my favorite.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Oh.
I just, I don't know why.
Love David Tennant.
I think it's just the production. I at the time, I was like a production value snob.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, well, this is cheap.
They're from like 10 years before where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
so
rough.
like, because I started with Matt Smith, where like the VFX were really good and everything. Yeah. He went back and watched the David
Christopher
Tennant
Eccleston stuff. I mean,
oh god, yeah. I mean, like it's terrible. Stories are great, but it is. Production value is awful.
Yeah, it's like mid '90s TV awful.
And I just never got into Rose.
Yeah,
and she was always.
It does get better when
obnoxious to
she
me.
leaves. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I've had like a younger cousin who has watched that stuff, and they go, they watch right up to Rose, and then it's so sad,
Right.
because all what happens, and so they stopped. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, don't do that. The show
Amy
hasn't
and-
even started yet.
Yeah. Amy and Rory were the best companions ever.
I agree. Well,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know.
I think we lost Nick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
tuned,
sorry.
Tuned out a little bit.
You gotta watch it though, man. It's good.
There's 10,000 seasons. I'll get to it after I watch
No, dude.
Mandalorian again.
No, don't watch. I mean, granted, I'm nerd enough that I've gone back and watched like some number 2 and 3. And, all
Yeah.
right, you know. But like, you gotta watch some of it.
Yeah,
Like,
I have. I've got family members who are dedicated to
well,
it.
the
so,
reason
I walk into the
I mean, are
room
you into
and-
comics and stuff at all?
No.
No.
Or am I into comics or the Doctor Who comics?
Anything?
Oh,
like,
I'm
like
into-
these Marvel, like you're into Batman. And
Yeah.
that thing?
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
I mean, Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. Doctor Who. That's how I would put it. Doctor Who is higher than all of these people.
Mhm.
He seriously, like, I have seen something online where it's like a comic and like they're attending his funeral or something. Like one of the times he dies, and it's like somebody drew that, and it's like every comic book thing you could ever think of, and they put it all inside the TARDIS, basically. There's some weird
awesome.
shit I saw online,
Yeah.
but like that's what would be my description: is he is. It's not even a he anymore. That entity
Yeah.
is bigger than anything you could ever think of.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way to describe Doctor Who, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like all those like Superman, he could like, fly around the world and, turn it backwards and turn time backwards. Yeah, this guy doesn't care. He's just going to pop up and like make it all disappear with the snap of his fingers. He doesn't even have any weapons.
He's got a sonic
He doesn't have
screwdriver.
anything. Yeah. I mean, technically he's got that.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just like me showing up with my hands.
It's Handman.
I'm going to unlock this door, though. Meh.
Why not? Yeah, I did. That's to me the best part about that show too is probably the writing.
Oh yeah.
It's just all
yeah.
over the place.
It's
Like,
it seems like almost like Twilight Zone-y in
kind
some
of
ways.
Star
Just
Trek
like-
a little bit, like where they try to time mind mess with you,
Time mind.
Yeah. You never know. But
Yeah.
Time mind.
God, yeah, I could watch some Doctor Who, but I haven't. Yeah, I'm the same way. I haven't really got into the new stuff, and
Yeah, I kind of dropped off the map after old Matt Smith passed away and turned into an old white guy.
yeah,
Before he was a young white guy.
Act like we all will when we die.
Yeah.
he was on The Crown for a while there. I watched that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Like he's only in it for like 2 or 3 seasons because they change characters on purpose. But
Oh, yeah.
he plays an asshole, man. It's kind of weird.
I've actually heard that Matt Smith is kind of an asshole. That he's
Like in real life?
kind of a hipstery
I
douchebag.
could see that. you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, he plays it. Like it's hard watching like from going for the doctor, and then you're
Oh,
like,
I bet. Yeah.
I'm like, God,
Oh, man.
you suck. I kind
The
of don't like you.
doctor is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm saying an arsehole.
The doctor's in, and he's a dick. or she.
Or she.
Yeah. I have to get back to it, but it's one of those things. But kind of let's kind of wrap this up. Like,
Okay.
Anything else like you want to like push or promote or talk about, like what you kind of went over some of the stuff you're all wanting to do going forward anyway.
So we are in the midst of season. I've already forgotten. Is it season 4 or season 5?
I think it's season 4.
It's season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know it's.
I've only been around for 2. It's not my job.
It's all started to run together for me, like because we've been doing this since 2015, dude. Like it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have all new episodes that are available on iTunes, Spotify, pretty much anywhere that you get your podcasts.
Stitcher.
But we would love for people to get to watch the original sketches that we do in addition to listen to the podcast. If you're wanting to learn about just the film industry in general or the music industry in general, listen to the podcast. But if you want to watch some really funny, well-made stuff that has been created by Oklahoma filmmakers, go check out our sketches on our YouTube channel, which YouTube changed their algorithm, so we don't have an actual address. So it's just best to go to okieshowshow.com and watch those sketches there. And then you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of
You have
stuff.
like a YouTube channel and stuff.
We do have a YouTube channel, but they made it to where you have to have like 1,000 subscribers before you can actually have your own.
And we
address.
do not.
We do not.
Yeah.
but we're working on that.
But we're working on it. Patreon.
Oh yeah, we also have a Patreon which helps produce all of our projects, whether they're podcasts or we also do some live events. We do a monthly improv jam over at the Paramount Room every last Sunday of the month from 5 to 7 in the Paramount Room. It's a free improv jam that if you've never tried improv before, this is the safe place to do it. You don't have to pay anything. You can just jump up on stage, and myself and a lot of other highly experienced improvisers will walk you through. We'll play some games, and, the goal is just to have fun and just to get your feet wet in the world of improv. Nick's done it, and he learned that he's actually not too bad.
I'm not too good either.
You're not too bad, though.
It's not like I definitely took out some notes from my first stand-up gig, and by notes I mean I've read them off. I've read them off the paper. We're working on the next round of sketches, but we also have it's not just us in the group. We also have CJ Lance, he's a local stand-up, and Patrick Kirk, who's a local filmmaker here, and Kelly Lawson. Whenever she's not wrangling
the kiddos,
some kiddos around, she helps us out with a lot of stuff too. So it's a really good group. I'm really enjoy hanging out with everybody and all the actors and crew we bring in. It's very nice. It's good.
My parting question for both of you would be what suggestions or advice would you give for people looking to get into this stuff? It seems like it's a pretty low hurdle to get into. For all these things. I mean, sound, video, any of that stuff. What would you say?
I would say if you're wanting to get involved in the film industry in general, I always say 3 things: be humble, be kind, and be hardworking. And if you can do those 3 things and you reach out to people and you network with people with those 3 things in mind, you're going to be successful. Because the community around here is very collaborative. The people that actually do know what they're doing, the ones that are professionals and make their living doing it, they want to support you. They want to get you working. Because, it's one of those help me, help you kind of things where, our industry is still relatively small, but we're slowly growing. And over time, right now, we can crew up about 2 feature films simultaneously, which is extremely low. But our rebate, the state's rebate that is bringing in a lot of these projects, we're getting to where we're shooting 3 or 4, sometimes even 5 feature films at the same time, and we need workers.
Is that rebate really driving a lot of that?
Oh, it's driving
totally at all.
It's completely driving it, and we need crew. We need people working. I need someone to cover for me whenever I get the flu.
Again, he's just lonely, guys.
I need someone to tell me it's gonna be okay. So reach out to us, because that's one thing that I love doing is plugging people in. Getting them pointed in the right direction, and even throwing work your way and stuff. We have a young lady who came out to our kickoff event that for some reason I always get hit up by these productions that are coming in from out of town. Can you help us get in contact with some PAs or whatever?
Yeah.
So I end up throwing work towards people a lot, and Nick's the same thing. And reach out to us, and we'll try to get you plugged in. Reach out to other filmmakers, and I guarantee you, the filmmakers that are successful around here are not arrogant assholes. They will help you out. They will try to get you working.
Sweet. Yeah. What would you say? You're pretty newer to this stuff.
You're pretty newer. It just kind of becomes you just have to do it. I kept waiting around, I want to have a sketch group, and and you think about it, and in your mind you're like, yeah, I'm going to get paid to do sketches and just lay around and just write sketches all day. No, it's like a hobby. It's you have to do on those Saturdays when you just want to sleep in, but you've scheduled a sketch to be filmed, and it's going to take 8 hours. You do it because you love it. You do it because it's fun for you to be able to put out this stuff. We don't do it because for our health or anything, or for our wallets or anything.
We don't really get a lot of time to sleep.
We don't really get a lot of time to sleep or anything. We do it for the craft service, really. But it's
callback.
But if you, my advice just for if you have a sketch group or want to do a sketch group or a podcast, so many people have come up oh, that's so cool you have this, and it's if you just do it and plug away at it, good stuff will happen.
Yeah.
And
also, when you are starting out, just don't listen to other people that are trying to tear you down. Just don't listen to them, because the thing is everyone's going to try to do that whenever you're starting out. You know why? Because you're starting out and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the way that you learn how to do what you want to do is by pressing on, pushing forward. You know,
I agree.
You have to ignore the noise around
Everyone
you.
always wonders, like, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who fucking cares?
Because I want to.
Yeah. Keep pressing on.
Yeah.
We do these sketches. We only get like 600 views or something like that. Blood, sweat, and tears just for that. It's like, why do you do it? Because I like it and it makes me laugh sometimes.
Yeah. And because it also helps us get better and better. Every single time that we put something out, we feel like we improve a little more, and we want to be able to share that sense of improving on yourself.
Yeah, so tell us how much we've improved.
Yes. Yes, we don't want to know how much we suck. We already know.
We've already gone
We
through
only
that.
want compliments. Only give us positive
Hey,
reinforcement.
I don't blame you, man. Well, hey, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Like, if someone
It is
actually
tough.
does give you some good constructive criticism.
And
it's just
construction
like,
criticism.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
You're
I'm
like,
building stuff, something.
Yeah. The foundation
that
of
is
this
not
building is
gonna
awful.
But yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's heart-wrenching
Yeah.
sometimes, you know?
So,
You do need to be open to constructive criticism,
Yeah.
but I think the majority
Don't
of
let
the
it drag you
criticism that
down.
you're going to get is from trolls more than anything.
Yeah.
And be open to suggestion, be open to, yes and people.
Mhm.
Don't negate people,
No.
but be able to trust the people that are giving you that constructive criticism, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Find people that you can trust and that are not going to blow smoke up your ass, and that's why I always say, like, that whole be humble, be kind, be hardworking, like, it always comes back to those three things. Because
pretty simple.
If you are humble and if you are kind and if you are hardworking, more than likely you're not going to fall into a pit of egotism. Egotism? Words.
You're right.
Close.
a word.
Egotistical, motivation of, like, I just want to be rich and famous. First of all, if you were wanting to be rich and famous, get in the oil and gas industry
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the rich part,
Yeah.
and get into politics for the famous part.
Yeah.
It's not glamorous. It probably never will be. But if you look at it in a way of trying to have fun with it, it is that.
Something else is like what you're talking about, just putting it out there. Just keep it on, basically. Like,
Just do it.
well, I mean, like, seriously, you never know where you're going to find yourself in like 5 years,
Yeah.
10 years.
Yep.
You could be doing the same thing, but like this same thing could have led you to, some
Yeah.
amazing shit.
I had nothing really going on, and then did a 48-hour with Brian, and just brought me into this whole little sketch show and podcast that he's built up. So just find a Brian and glom onto him. Let someone else put in the
ride them.
years of work, and then you just come in and kind of just hang out.
around.
Ride out. That's my advice.
Right.
Well, fellas, thank you.
Thanks so much for having us, man.
And
This
dude,
was
hey,
really fun.
Hey, you'll have to come back on too, because I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm trying to like just talk to other people and just
Yeah. That's
sometimes
what's
it's
been
a
really,
one-on-one, sometimes it's a group that I don't care, but I'd rather just.
That's what's been
Shoot
really
shit.
fun about doing, we've been going on a lot of different local podcasts, and it's just been so fun to, like, get to meet other podcasters and, like,
Yeah.
see how they go about doing their stuff.
When we
and,
started,
like,
there was nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Right.
nobody. you
Yeah.
know? And
Now
I
everyone's
went to
got
one
a podcast.
meetup
It's crazy.
once, but it was kind of like just like 4 or 5, and I don't think half those people even
Yeah.
still do it. We dropped off for a while, and it was just mainly because I was like busy with my kid.
Yeah.
I just had a baby. Like, I am not doing another
Just
one.
life got in the way.
But yeah,
What?
it's the same thing. Just keep like put more out there. It's on the internet.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
Just keep plugging away.
Anybody anytime can come find it.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you guys. Come
Thanks
back
so much,
on.
man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Till next time.
Handshake.
That's right.
Fist bump. Secret handshake that no one can see because it's so secret. And we're out.